Hey guys, back for chapter 3. Let's get started. Then Tobias sighed and began to pray with tears, saying, Thou art just, O Lord, and all thy judgments are just, and all thy ways mercy and truth and judgment. And now, O Lord, think of me, and take not revenge of my sins, neither remember my offenses, nor those of my parents. For we have not obeyed thy commandments. Therefore are we delivered to spoil and to captivity and death, and are made a fable, and a reproach to all nations, amongst which thou hast scattered us. And now, O Lord, great are thy judgments, because we have not done according to thy precepts, and have not walked sincerely before thee. And now, O Lord, do with me according to thy will, and command my spirit to be received in peace, for it is better for me to die than to live. Now it happened on the same day that Sarah, daughter of Raguel in Rheims, a city of the Medes, received a reproach from one of her father's servant maids, because she had been given to 7 husbands, and a devil named Asmodeus had killed them at their first going in unto her. So when she reproved the maid for her fault, she answered her, saying, May we never see son or daughter of thee upon the earth, thou murderer of thy husbands. Wilt thou kill me also, as thou hast already killed 7 husbands? At these words she went into an upper chamber of her house, and for 3 days and 3 nights did neither eat nor drink, but continuing in prayer with tears besought God that he would deliver her from this reproach. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, when she was making an end of her prayer, blessing the Lord, she said, Blessed is thy name, O God of our fathers, who when thou hast been angry wilt shew mercy, and in the time of tribulation forgivest the sins of them that call upon thee. To thee, O Lord, I turn my face, to thee I direct my eyes. I beg, O Lord, that thou loose me from the bond of this reproach, or else take me away from the earth. Thou knowest, O Lord, that I never coveted a husband, and have kept my soul clean from all lust. Never have I joined myself with them that play, neither have I made myself partaker with them that walk in lightness. But a husband I consented to take, with thy fear, not with my lust. And either I was unworthy of them, or they perhaps were not worthy of me, because perhaps thou hast kept me for another man. For thy counsel is not in man's power. But this every one is sure of that worshippeth thee, that his life, if it be under trial, shall be crowned, and if it be under tribulation, it shall be delivered, and if it be under correction, it shall be allowed to come to thy mercy. For thou art not delighted in our being lost, because after a storm thou makest a calm, and after tears and weeping thou pourest in joyfulness. Be thy name, O God of Israel, blessed forever. At that time the prayers of them both were heard in the sight of the glory of the Most High God. And the holy angel of the Lord, Raphael, was sent to heal them both, whose prayers at one time were rehearsed in the sight of the Lord. Okay, let's go back to verse 1. In our distress, we should cry out to God for help. We can see in the Psalms examples of that, and we can use those Psalms to learn how to pray when we're going through troubled times. Also, the story of Susanna is a short story in the book of Daniel, and it captures another moment of a holy person in distress, crying out to God. Verse 6, there are times where God might permit us to go through something where we'd believe or know death would be easier for us to handle. But wait until you see what God is going to do for Tobias. At this moment in time, Tobias has no clue. So you got to ask yourself, what does God have in store for you? Verse 7, and here we see someone else being wounded by another person's words. Verse 8, this story might be something the Sadducees were referencing when they asked Jesus in Matthew 22, verse 23 through 30. That day there came to him the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said if a man die having no son, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up issue to his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, having married a wife, died, and not having issue, left his wife to his brother, and in like manner the second, and the third, and so on to the 7th. And last of all the woman died also. At the resurrection, therefore, whose wife of the 7 shall she be? For they all had her. And Jesus answering said to them, You err, not knowing the Scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they shall neither marry nor be married, but shall be as the angels of God in heaven. Now Asmodeus, the name is most probably derived from the Hebrew root meaning to destroy. At least that's what New Advent says. I'll share the link in the description. Verse 9, her maid is kinda, or might actually be throwing a curse at her. Sarah's being falsely accused. Tobias was mocked for his holiness and painted a fool by it. He was innocent, plainly. Meanwhile, Sarah is innocent but looks guilty. Now, verse 10, let's get the picture here. Sarah is falsely accused 3 days and 3 nights. Is this period of mourning a shadow of Christ's death, who was also innocent and condemned? Matthew 12, verse 40. For as Jonas was in the whale's belly 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. And then what happened after that? The Lord brought forth deliverance through his death. And with Jonah's freedom from the belly, out came deliverance for the Ninevites. Also in Esther chapter 4, 3 days and 3 nights fasting. And what came out of that later? Like, what did we see? The Jewish people were delivered. Verse 15, both Tobias and Sarah are asking the same thing. They're both asking to die. Verse 21, James 1 verse 12, Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he hath been proved, he shall receive a crown of life, which God hath promised to them that love him. James 1 verse 2 through 4. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience. And patience hath a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, failing in nothing. Psalm 33, verse 20. Many are the afflictions of the just, but out of them all will the Lord deliver them. Acts 14, verse 21. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that through many tribulations we must enter into the kingdom of God. Now to verse 22. Psalm 30, verse 5, RSV, CE edition. For his anger is but for a moment, and his favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Joel chapter 2, verse 24 through 26. The threshing floors shall be full of grain, the vats shall overflow with wine and oil. I will restore to you the years which the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which I sent among you. You shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never again be put to shame. Mark 4, verse 38 through 40. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, sleeping upon a pillow, and they wake him, and say to him, Master, doth it not concern thee that we perish? And rising up, he rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was made a great calm. And he said to them, Why are you fearful? Have you not faith yet? And they feared exceedingly, and they said one to another, Who is this, thinkest thou, that both wind and sea obey him? Verse 25. The angel mentioned here, Raphael, is actually the Archangel Raphael, whose name means God has healed. The Vatican News website actually lists him as the protagonist of this book. Now let me read something for you from the Gospel of John. It's in John 5, verse 1 through 4. And please pardon me if I mispronounce anything. After these things, there was a festival day of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem a pond called Probactia, which in Hebrew is named Bethsaida, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of sick, of blind, of lame, of withered, waiting for the moving of the water. And an angel of the Lord descended at certain times into the pond, and the water was moved. And he that went down first into the pond after the motion of the water was made whole of whatsoever infirmity he lay under. Now the reason I shared this is because of the angel here spoken of is generally associated with Saint Raphael the Archangel. Okay, so now that these two, Tobias and Sarah, both prayed for death and are now both connected with a mission of an angel of God, makes you wonder if you and someone else's prayers are ever connected and God does something to help you both. Alright guys, that's all for chapter 3. Thanks for listening and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think.